Welcome to Coffee Hour number 2. I'm now going to make a prep show. This is just going to be it right here. This is going to be a chit chat. We're going to talk about a few current events. I've been trying to avoid this for quite some time, but there's no more avoidance that can be done about these people um going around gunning the shit out of people. Alright, so off the bat, so that I don't sound like a racist, we're going to talk about the victim that's dead first. The young white lady who was killed because her car did a U-turn in somebody's driveway. Completely unacceptable. Completely fucking unacceptable. And it is a damn shame that somebody who looks like her was able to shoot her. Now, luckily, as far as we know, this guy's still in jail. And hopefully he'll stay there. I don't have a problem. Let me save that for the end. Let's talk about the cheerleaders. And the man that shot them, who hopefully is in jail. And hopefully he's going to stay there. The cheerleaders tried to make it amends, and this rotten piece of filth, he shot them. He shot girls. That's 2 men that done shot girls. Pieces of crap. No. Cowards, man. Cowards. Now let's talk about the 84-year-old who shot the young black kid. Another damn coward. Got a lot of cowards holding guns. People always talking about the good guy with the gun, but there's a cowards. And there was a 4th one, where 3 people, at least 2 are dead, and they were black people. I forgot where it was, but that was on one of the shows today. And something about a sweet 16th birthday party. And I'm ridiculously pissed off about this shit. And now let me continue with that thought about I don't have a problem. Alright. So I literally do not have a problem with anyone who owns a gun. As long as you are responsible. As long as you keep it out of the reach of children. As long as you teach... Let me rephrase that. As long as you have been taught gun safety. And the weapon should not fire if the safety is on. It should not fire. Let me make this 100% clear. Because I am a veteran of the Army. And I have learned how AR-15s work because I had an M4. It's the same damn thing. There's no guarantees that the safety will stop the fucking weapon from firing. Now, if you have a safety and a trigger guard, which means you can't stick your finger through that hole, you have a whole lot better chance of not having that firearm discharge for any means necessary. And for those who do not know what that looks like, they have them for certain vernaculars for your weapon. It slides into your trigger wall. Because, if you're taught to shoot, this finger is here. This is your trigger. This is your handle. So your finger is here. It is not inside the trigger wall. It is on the top of the trigger wall, ready to slide and fire at any time. Your safety is right there also. Your safety release is like right here. Click, slap, boom. It's in there. Alright? Now that little trigger mechanism that fits in there, they make them for certain weapons. Handguns as well as rifles, as well as assault rifles. And you can get them. You just have to ask for them at the store. Most people don't even ask for them, and yeah, it's going to cost you a little bit more. But no price in the world is worth the safety of the child. Alright? So if you're going to have a firearm, you need a trigger guard. Because that safety, that bitch isn't guaranteed. My uncle used to have firearms that even if you had the safety, it had a hair trigger. So you could still accidentally shoot somebody with a hair trigger even if the safety was on. I did not know that, but I did learn that. Now, sometimes it would be fine, but most of the time, if the safety was on, the hair trigger was fine. But that was his firearm. That doesn't mean other people's firearms work the same, because every firearm, no matter how they look the same, they don't always operate the same. I know you're thinking, but it has a trigger and you pull it. Yeah, that part works the same. But there are some safety measures and there are some safety measures. And some safety measures need to be taken, and some safety measures are just overlooked. Which is why I say that if you have a firearm and you have a trigger guard where you slide it into that trigger so that your finger can't get into that trigger, then we're good. And if you are responsible and you take care of your firearm and not just clean it, but keep it out of the reach of children, keep it out of the access so that anybody can get a hold of it, just like here in Virginia where the 6-year-old kid got a hold of a firearm and shot the teacher And now the mom's getting charged for that shit. Hopefully she won't do time, and they'll work it out to where they'll have a deal or whatever. Because I don't know where she set the firearm that the kid could actually find it. And that's another thing. You should probably never show a child under the age of 12 where you keep the firearm. And sadly, I'm going to say this because it is the truth. A child can find anything. Anything. It doesn't matter where you hide it. A child can find it. And people don't understand how dumb luck works. A child has omega dumb luck. And a child can find a needle in a fucking haystack. You don't have to believe that shit, but it's the truth. A child can find a needle in a haystack while we're thumbing through all the shit. A child just look right in there. Look. They'll find that shit. Because finding a firearm in your house is like finding a needle in a haystack. Especially if you only have one firearm. You know? I also suggested you store your ammunition in a different spot from your firearm. Or if at all possible, you put everything at the same spot but high enough that a child can't reach it even with a chair. And you don't have to take this advice, and I really don't give a damn if you don't. But I don't own a firearm. I do not like firearms. I have a bow and arrow. Now, since I said that, let me point something out abundantly clear. There's no tip on this bow and arrow. This arrow, rather. Now, forgive my trashy ass room. See those arrows right there in the quiver? They all have tips. But also, I don't have children. And they're not going to come in here and draw my bow back and do shit with it. You know, they're not going to do that. But again, I don't have children. But they are in a responsible spot. I know where they are. My bow is over there. My arrow's over there. And this one arrowless arrow is right here. So if I have to use my arrow, I can use this little tipless arrow. It will still do damage. It won't hurt person per se, depending on where the target is. But if this goes into your eye, you're gonna get hurt without the tip. So these are still dangerous without the tip, if the right person know how to use them. And this is where I'll probably get some smoke for that shit. But hey, have you ever shot an arrow without a tip? Because if you haven't, then shut the fuck up. They still go through their target because it's the force behind the draw. Anyway. And I don't have hunting arrows. I have archery arrows only. I only do archery. I do not do hunting. I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to kill it. Now, you got to be responsible for your weapons. You have to be. And now let's get back onto the main point of this video. As effective immediately, you know, people are bitching about your Second Amendment rights. No one's trying to take your fucking guns. But people need you to be more responsible for where you place them. People need to also think before they fire off and start shooting people for unseen reasons. And yes, I'm going to say this as... I'm going to get some smoke for this shit, but I'm going to say it. And I'm going to even get more smoke because I was in the army. Firearm is probably the worst invention ever made by mankind. When people were killing people with rocks and sticks and spears and shit, everything was great. But now you have access to unquantifiable levels of violence when it comes to firearms and shit. Not that there was not unquantifiable levels with sword, sticks, bows, arrows, spikes, and spears and shit like that. But at that same rate, you know, you fought versus popping people off like it ain't nothing, you know. And unfortunately, in all these current events, one young white lady died, 3 black people died, 1 black guy survived and is hanging on, and he's making it. One of the cheerleaders is in critical, the other one is out. And the fact that these people who shot them just don't seem to be remorseful about the shit at all. I'm like, man, you know, y'all are fucked up. If you're going to have a firearm, and you're going to have a firearm, I'm not here to take it from you, I don't give a shit. But I do care how that damn thing is used. If you're using your firearm respectfully, be good. But if you're being a douchebag full of dick tips dumpster fire and you're using your firearms recklessly, I have no fucks to give to you. Because this is how people work. And this is the same thing with these people who are so worried about your guns being taken from you. Yes, I'm talking to you people who want your guns no matter what. Fuck the children. I want my guns. You wouldn't say that shit if one of these victims was your child. It's the same thing with the politicians who are against abortion and all that shit. They would not be against that shit if it was one of their children. I understand it's okay when it's somebody else's child. It's always okay when it's somebody else's child. And I don't have children, but I'm going to tell you straight off the bat, because this is how the world works. You would not be okay if someone had to deliver a death note to your door because your child was in a school shooting, because your child turned around in somebody's driveway and got shot, because your child went to pick up his brothers and got shot, because your child was having a Sweet 16 party and somebody just wanted raw hair in their ass and decided, hey, let's go shoot the place up. Understand. Excuse me. Understand. Some people are just fucking evil. And those are people who really shouldn't have firearms because they don't have the decency to know the depths of their evil. And they just pass it off as, oh, it's just passive aggressive. I wasn't being evil. I wasn't really trying to unalive somebody. But at that same very fucking time, you did it though. You fucking did it. And you ended the life of people who could have been people who were going to cure cancer. Could have been people who were going to save the earth. Could have been people who were going to do great things. But they never got the chance to do great things because you took their life. Because of whatever your grievance is. Instead of talking it out or duking it out like we did in my day, it's, I'm just going to unalive this shit. That's what I'm going to do. Fuck the consequences. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. And before you even get the chance to live your life, somebody done snuffed your shit out, because instead of being a brave individual, a brave human being, now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to shoot this motherfucker. Because I can't fight, so I'm just going to go ahead and shoot him. And that's going to be that. And that's fine and dandy and all, because, you know, that just means you're a coward. It is true. Firearms do not kill people. People using firearms kill people. But then nobody wants to take fucking accountability for the shit after it's done. And so as I leave you, I want you to understand one or two things. I don't have a problem with people who own firearms. But you need to be responsible. And not only do you need to be responsible for your firearm, but you're going to need to be responsible for everybody else who owns a firearm. And y'all need to start checking each other with this fucking shit. With, did I put my weapon in the right place? Or did I just misjudge it and leave it somewhere where, oh, my 6-year-old kid can find it? Or did I just leave it somewhere where it's going to be where it needs to be, but I don't care about it. I'm just going to do what I need to do and call it a day. So, let me know how you feel about that. And if you are a person who owns a firearm, and this has offended you, I'm sorry. Wasn't supposed to offend you. It's supposed to wake your ass up. Because most people who own firearms, they don't give a damn about anything else until it rides up at their front door. Remember, your front door is just like everybody else's front door. It's a door. And when your child leaves that door, none of us are promised that our children are coming home when they get to school. Because people don't want gun control. People don't want psych evals. Now, if you already own the gun, okay, cool. But you should probably have a test to check your shit. No. You should probably have a high stress test. I don't own a firearm. If I can help it, I will never buy a firearm. The only firearms I ever want to touch will be in the movies. Nothing in the world would suit me better than to use these right here versus using a firearm. And even if these don't work and I get my ass beat, they're going to earn that ass whooping. I'm not going to go get a firearm and take this shit out. That being said, I am Echo Fan Grey Wolf. I hope you guys have a blessed night. I'm not filming any more videos tonight. My ankle's still sore. I am going to eat these chips, drink that Gatorade right there, and then I'm going to sleep after I check out one more thing on TikTok. And to everybody here, the 262 of you, please be careful. No one's guaranteed tomorrow. And the fact that people are just so trigger happy right now, it don't make no damn sense. And I'm not going to blame politicians for it because politicians are not responsible for our actions. We are. Now, are you willing to own your responsibility for your actions is the question. That being said, much love. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you.